Hello, everyone. Today we have a special guest tonight joining us to the Wolfpack Cigar Club podcast here on YouTube. Our friend Shaun. He's the owner of Rebellion Cigars. Shaun, how you doing?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm good, thanks. I'm good. How are you guys?
Everything good, brother. Everything good. Kind of hot down here in Miami. We were talking off camera. Shaun is in the UK right now. How's the weather in the UK?
Well, I was in Florida for most of May. Got back to the UK in June. Almost had to put long trousers back on. It was that cold. But it's just starting to warm up now. So yeah, not as warm as it was in Florida.
Yeah, no, I bet. So listen, we have Rafi, we got Albert today joining us to smoke Rebellion
Yeah.
cigars. I got me the You Shook Me All Night Long. Is this a Habano, Sean, by any chance?
That's Urbano, yes.
A Habano? Well, for me, I lighted up a couple of minutes ago. I couldn't wait to smoke. I wanted to smoke already, and I couldn't wait for the to start the podcast. So I lighted up. First impression for me, I'm a full body smoker. On this cigar, for me, it's a medium body, pretty good draw, really good construction, nice burn. Um, not. I'm not getting like we don't when we do the podcast, Sean. So you know get to know us a little bit more. We don't get too deep into like notes to like fruits and cashews and peanuts and this and this and that. We keep it more general, especially for a lot of the people that they see our videos are people that they're starting to smoke, and we don't want to portray people something that we might perceive due to the years that we've been smoking, and then new people coming into smoke, they're not going to be able to get the same thing and be disappointed about it. You know what I'm saying? But for
Yeah.
me, great draw. I love the draw. The draw on the cigar is amazing. Medium body, pretty good smoke. It's my first cigar of the day, so I'm glad I chose this one. It's not a full body; it's a medium body. So far so good. Which one you got, Rafi?
I got the Ace of Spades, the Maduro.
Oh,
Ah,
that's the one that he's smoking.
same here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I already smoked the one that I smoked. What was it, like maybe 2 weeks ago? The sweet child of mine.
Yeah, yeah.
That one was good. This one, this one has a little kick to it. This is something
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure Yosli would find. He's a Maduro smoker. I'm more of a Habano rapper, but this is nice. It has Indonesia tobacco in here.
You've got an Indonesian binder, but
Okay.
the rest of the tobacco is Nicaraguan and Honduran.
Mm,
So all
Nice.
the
So,
cigars are blends of Honduran and
nice.
Nicaraguan. And I'm glad you just said about the taste notes and everything because obviously different people taste different things in cigars. But
exactly.
Definitely.
my view is basically, do you like it or not? I mean, it's you know.
I'm with you 100%. Thank God you said it. I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it to say that from the beginning, and you might because there's some brand owners that when you say that they look at you like, oh, you don't know how to smoke. It's not that I don't know how to smoke. It's just that I don't get into those little details because I don't care. I just want to like the cigar or not. That's it.
Yeah, and you'll taste different things anyway, depending on
Exactly.
what else you've eaten or drunk or whatever during the day. So, people say to me, "Oh, what's your favorite cigars?" Now, I'm a Maduro man, right? So, in the morning, I might smoke a You Shook Me to start, but other than that, I'm into the Sweet Child, the Ace of Spades, or the Ring of Fire, and basically I like them all, and it just depends on my mood. And sometimes I can smoke one of those and the next day smoke the same cigar and get something different out of it, just because of, I don't know, what I've had for dinner or what I'm drinking and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And that's something that I agree 100%. And we all have different palates. We all have different taste buds, and you know, for me, smoking cigars is a very personal experience. Yeah, we could probably smoke, let's say, let's say we're smoking this cigar, right? This one specifically. And even though we all like different stuff, we might come to the conclusion after smoking the cigar that we kind of tasted similar things, because it happened to the three of us when we're doing a cigar review. Um, most of the A lot of the time we get more of the same thing, the same strength level, more or less the same taste profile and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a very personal experience that we all have with the cigar, and we all taste different things, and we all have different palates, and we all have different preferences. So that's what that's what we keep telling people. You got to do your own exploration. You got
Yeah.
to smoke at your own pace. You cannot just go based on what people are saying. Oh my God, this cigar tastes like marshmallow. Oh, let me buy it because I like marshmallow, so I want to taste marshmallow. And then they go and buy the cigar, and they're like, shit, this doesn't even taste like marshmallow. So it's a very personal experience. It comes down to personal opinion, and like you said, we all have, taste different things.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, Sean.
No, no.
Quick question. Just to get to know Rebellion Cigars, man. I mean, me personally, I've never heard of any company kind of like, with the UK, kind of like, whenever you hear about tobaccos, it's always kind of like with, Dominican kind of like behind it. And what I mean by that is not the actual tobacco, but like the bands and all of that. These stories that come out. Talk to us about Rebellion. How's the scene in the UK with cigars, and what kind of like, how did Rebellion come about?
Well, let me go right back to the beginning. So, I know I don't look it, but I'm nearly 57, and
Okay.
I tried a cigarette once as a teenager and nearly threw up. Didn't like inhaling the smoke, but I got hooked on an advert on the television for a cigar called a Castella cigar. Now, in the UK, we have this. We used to have a beer served in a pint pot, and it was called the cigar that was as big as a pint, and I thought it looked cool. So I went and bought myself a pack of five Castella Panatella cigars, and I was in the working men's club, and that's when I started smoking them. So I thought it looked really cool because I'm the kid with the cigar. Everybody else is smoking cigarettes. I'm smoking a cigar. Probably looks a complete idiot, but it doesn't matter. And from there, somebody gave me a Cuban cigar, and uh, I couldn't really understand what the fuss was about because I couldn't actually smoke it. It didn't really smoke very well. And I thought, I'm obviously doing something wrong. So I went to my local tobacconist and I said, look, I've been given a couple of these cigars. Uh, didn't really smoke very well. What am I doing wrong? So he said, well, show me what you're doing. So I did. He said, right, the first thing you've got to do is cut the end off. He said, if you don't cut the end off, you're not going to get any. So that's when I bought a cutter, bought a butane lighter, all that good stuff.
Okay.
And then from there over the years, because the scene in the UK was pretty much Cuban at that time.
Yeah.
And then somebody went to the Dominican Republic and brought me back some Santa Damiana Robusto cigars, which I loved. And so I kind of got into it that way. And cigars in the UK are very expensive. Always have been, and I'll come onto that in a minute. But I basically couldn't afford to smoke more than maybe one cigar a month, so that's what I did. And then it became two a month, and then three a month, and then one a week. And I thought, right, this is becoming an expensive hobby. Why
Hmm.
don't I see if I can start a business, and then I can at least buy the cigars wholesale and get them cheaper, right?
There you go.
So I'll set up a website. This is going back probably 20 years or so. So the web was still fairly new, um, but nobody would give me the time of day. It's like, no, no, no. We have our shops in the UK that we supply, and we won't supply you. So the whole thing was shelved. But the idea never kind of left me. And then I guess over the last 10 to 15 years in the UK, the new world stuff's really kind of
Yeah.
started to get going. And so 5 or 6 years ago, this idea started germinating again. And then to be perfectly honest, I was in a taxi in Malta. This is when it really started. I was in a taxi in Malta with two other people. We were absolutely pissed, just talking about stuff and nonsense as you do. And it was like, oh, why don't you do it? And I got back to the UK and I thought, right, I'm going to do this. Um, so the first thing was to think of a name, and the name Rebellion came to me quite easily because it's about kind of rebelling against the stereotype of smoking and perhaps the elitism that's perhaps associated with it in certain circles. Because for me, it's about people like me. I work for a living, enjoying a cigar after work on a weekend and all that sort of stuff. Wear what you want, smoke what you want, do what you want, but smoke a cigar. So that was the first bit. The Union Jacks on the side of the logo, because I'm very proud to be from Great Britain, and so although the cigars are made in Honduras, we are a British brand and a British company. And then the color. Now the color is quite key to this, right? So pink has always been my favorite color. Ever since I was a kid, I've worn pink t-shirts, love it, right? And if it's good enough for Daniel Craig and Elvis Presley, it's good enough for me. So the other thing was when I was doing my research, I used to come over to Orlando and I'd go to, for example, the Corona Cigar Lounge in Orlando. Huge, great big humidor. But if you go in them, it's a sea of brown, basically, a bit of black maybe, and a bit of other colors, dark colors.
Yeah.
Because cigars are brown, so that's a very natural thing. So as a new brand, you've got to try and do something to stand out. So I thought, well, if I make the bands pink and the boxes pink and the whole branding pink, it's going to stand out. Now, whenever we go to a new store, and one of the brokers goes to a new store, the first thing they do is they take the display box, they walk in the humidor, they plonk it on the shelf, and they say to the owner, tell me what you see. He says, oh, it really stands out. Well, and that's exactly what it's about. So it stands out. Then you've got to have a cigar that works. So then we thought, right, so we've got a brand that will maybe stand out on the shelf now. How else can we get you to remember what you're smoking? Because again, there's lots of cigars out there just called Habano or whatever, right? So how do we make it stand out? So I'm big into my rock music, and I thought, well, why don't I name these cigars after my favorite songs? So the first cigar I ever blended was the Sweet Child of Mine, and we reblended it last year. So that's why you've got in the Rockstar range, you've got Paradise City, You Shook Me All Night Long, Ace of Spades, and Sweet Child. And then my wife, who helps me run the business, said, well, she's into country music. I want the country range. So we've got Redneck Woman, 5 O'Clock Somewhere, and Ring of Fire. And that's kind of how the whole thing sort of came about. And then, I'm a big believer in this. You kind of make your own luck. We were working with a factory, which again was quite difficult for us to do to start with. And communication wasn't great. Cigars were good, but communication wasn't great. So we were getting a bit disillusioned with how long things were taking and getting things done. And somebody who knew somebody introduced him to this guy called Pedro, who runs a factory in Honduras. And I spoke to him. He's low 30s, so he's a young guy, but been doing cigars for since he was a kid. And he flew over to Orlando, and I gave him my cigars, and we sat one afternoon smoking them all, and he was telling me what was in them. All right, so that blew my mind. That said to me, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's edgy, and he's great to work with. He really is. So we kind of tweaked all the blends. We reblended them. We flew down to Honduras to make sure the factory all checked out and everything was great. And he has this. He shares the same views as us in that it's all about, forget everything else. Actually, it's all about a well-constructed cigar at the right price.
Yep.
Everything else is subjective and up to individual
Yes.
taste, right? So whether you like the cigars or not, and people say this to me, do you get offended if people say they don't like your cigars? Not at all, because I'm blending pretty much something that I would smoke, even though I prefer Maduros. I appreciate people want to smoke Connecticut and Habano, right? So, you try and blend something, you try and blend the Connecticut that you hope people will like, that I like, but I don't choose to smoke it because it's not my taste profile. But if somebody says to me, I don't like your whatever, not a problem. Um, there's tens of thousands of cigars out there. You can't please everybody all the time. So it's very, very personal cigar smoking. For me, if you smoke a cigar and enjoy smoking a cigar, I think you're on a winner anyway. I mean, people say to me, "Why do you do it?" It relaxes me. For me, it's I've been at work all day. I'm now at home. I've got my feet up. I'm watching a bit of telly, having a drink, and smoking a cigar and just chilling out. And that's kind of for me what the whole thing is about. And then you asked about the UK cigar scene. So the UK cigar scene, we're very heavily taxed here in the UK.
Well,
So a $10 cigar in the US would be $25 in the UK probably.
Wow.
wow.
And this is help feed. It's actually helping to feed the New World cigars because they are lower in price anyway than the Cubans, but the Cubans are very expensive now. So
Yeah.
one of your most popular Cubans is a Cohiba. A Cohiba Robusto now will set you back 80 to 90 pounds, depending where you're buying it from for one cigar. So that's $120 plus tax.
Wow.
So it's an expensive job. And even the lower end Cubans will be 30, 40 pounds a stick now.
Hmm.
So of course, if you're smoking cigars and you're seeing those severe price increases over the last few years, you're starting to say, right, what else is out there? And then it's
Exactly.
it's opening up a whole new world of discovery.
Right.
So you're starting to experiment with new worlds and thinking, actually, it's a pretty, they're just as good as the Cubans. So let's pay a third of the money or half of the money and smoke just as good cigars for a lot
Ex-
less money. I saw a couple of guys in a smoking lounge in London, a couple of Americans, and they come in and I said, "Oh, what are you smoking?" And they were both smoking Cubans because they'd come
Yeah.
to London, they wanted to smoke a Cuban cigar. I said, "What do you think?" And they said, "Well, I've just paid 40 quid for this, and I can get a XYZ at home for I could have five
Exactly.
cigars back in the US for one cigar over here." So that's where we are.
And that's a big topic when you talk about Cuban cigars and New World. I'm Cuban myself, and I'm proud of saying that Cuba has a long history in the cigar industry, history, whatever you want to call it. But listen, I talk to the guys who smoke every day, and I would not trade a Nicaraguan cigar for a Cuban cigar. That's just me.
No.
There's a big myth, my opinion. This is my opinion only, and I respect anybody that loves Cuban cigars. I like Cuban cigars, but for me, they're more like a morning type of cigar. I mean, I wouldn't smoke a Cuban at night. I like something strong at night. Um, for me, what I've seen, at least what I've seen, because it's illegal to bring Cubans into the U.S.
Yeah.
and whenever you can find them, most likely they're fake. But
Yeah.
let's say you're able to get your hands on a real box, which is extremely expensive to start with. What I've noticed in Cuba for the past few years is that the quality has really decayed um, a lot on the construction, on the whole process of from fermentation to the whole process of manufacturing the cigars. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, the things that uh, Chinese went to Cuba and they bought over 50% of the Habanos SA, and that's the reason why, because they're grabbing most of the production of the real good things, of the real good cigars in Cuba, and then whatever's left is what they send to the rest of the countries. But I don't believe that's the reason why. I just think it's I don't know what the main factor is, but for me nowadays I wouldn't even trade the New World for a Cuban cigar, especially the prices. The prices are ridiculous. Like you're
Hmm.
talking about like a Cuban Bejique, you paying $300 for a cigar. That's
Well,
crazy.
but Hiki 54, I saw the other day they were getting up to £500 now in the UK for
Wow,
one
Five
cigar.
hundred pounds.
Yeah,
that's
so
that's
six
insane.
six
That's
fifty.
One
insane.
Back in the,
cigar.
I know, I know,
Yeah.
and I've smoked. I was very lucky. 18 months ago, somebody gave me I think it was a Beaky 52, um, and I enjoyed smoking it. It was very nice. But when I break it down, I think this is, then that was a 400 quid cigar. I can get 40 other cigars
Yeah.
for that
Really
one.
good
I'll
one.
I'll get,
Really
yeah,
good one.
give me the 40. It wasn't that good. It wasn't,
It,
it was definitely a slightly more premium product. Of course it is, but it's not 400 times or 40 times the
yeah.
quality. It just
Absolutely
isn't,
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely correct.
no, yeah, no, definitely.
It's like wine. Wine in the UK. So you can pay, I don't know, 10 quid for a good bottle of red wine. You can pay 20 quid, right? And there's not a lot of difference, but you can pay 50 quid. I can't tell the difference between a 50 quid and a 10 quid bottle of wine. After the second glass, I'm pissed anyway. So it doesn't matter. But I think a lot of it's to do with marketing. I think they're trying to make
Yes,
Exactly.
it a
of course.
prestigious, prestigious product. And of course, if you restrict supply, those who want them still, and that drives the
Exactly.
demand up and drives the price up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
so just going back to your smoke, Sean. I mean, when I received the cigars, I actually thought that they were, the same cigars, just multiple. But then I look and it's seven different cigars, and
Happened
I'm
to me
Yeah.
like,
too.
and I'm thinking, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, every brand that tries to come out with a cigar or even things, they usually come out with the traditional, Habano, Maduro, Connecticut. I'm like, what makes a person want to come out with seven different blends? I mean, what makes you want to come? What made you want to come out with seven different cigars?
Oh, so when we started, we had two cigars, okay, and again, because to start with, I'm developing a cigar really for me because I'm Maduro. So we had two. We call them limited editions now. So it was the Voodoo Child, and we had the original Sweet Child of mine. And look, every day's a school day. You're always learning, right?
Yeah.
So then we took a little step back and said, okay. And actually, this was to do with the launch in the US as well, because of course COVID got in the way of doing that. Um, but we knew we needed a range. So you've got to have a Connecticut Habano Maduro. You have to, because you've got different people want to smoke different things. So that's where we took a step back, and we sidelined Voodoo and Sweet Child for a little while and just concentrated on Paradise City, You Shook Me, and Ace of Spades.
Okay.
So we got those established, and then Pedro said to me, "Look," he said, the original Sweet Child was what I would call a normal Maduro wrapper. He said,
Okay.
we can now get hold of some San Andreas Maduro wrappers. He said, why don't we tweak this blend a bit and stick a San Andreas wrapper on there? He said, I think this is going to elevate it to a higher plane. So that's what we did. So I don't think it's as strong as it was before, but I think it tastes better. I think it's got more
Yeah.
taste to it. So we said, okay, well, let's go with that, and we put that as a limited edition. The reason we've got the country range, which is another Habano, um, Connecticut and Maduros, because Mandy wanted her range. So they are different blends. So if you smoke the Ace of Spades and you smoke the Ring of Fire, which are the two Maduros, one in the Rockstar range, one in the country range, um, you will notice there is a slight but distinct difference between the two.
Okay.
So, and I hate to admit this, but when we bought the Ring of Fire out, because it was Mandy's cigar, I really didn't want to like it as much as I like the Ace of Spades, but I liked it better. And for about 3 or 4 months, that was my go-to cigar, because I just
Wow.
thought, and,
All
and it
right.
is, I still think it's a great cigar. And then I swap and change. So tonight, I'm on Ace of Spades, and I'll tell you why I'm smoking an Ace of Spades tonight. I'll tell you exactly why I'm smoking an Ace of Spades tonight, and this goes to show how you get influenced. Before I came on here, a mate of mine was doing a 60-second review on Instagram on the Ace of Spades cigar, and he did it so well. I thought I've got to go and smoke an Ace of Spades cigar now because
There you go.
he's just done this great
There you
review on
go.
it. So that influenced what I'm smoking tonight. But if I look in my humidor now, and again, I tend to smoke the Gordos because I like a bigger, fatter cigar anyway,
Oh, okay.
normally.
All right.
So and again, I developed the Gordos. So each cigar has a Robusto, Toro, and Gordo. And so again, if I'm just after a morning walk, I'll smoke a Robusto or something. Something like this, I'll smoke a Toro. But if I'm on the golf course, it's
Oh
a
yeah.
Gordo all day. And I'll tell you
Yes.
the reason why. A, it's a big cigar. It lasts about 9 holes, but it's easier to
Yep.
keep lit, particularly in the UK where the weather's a bit iffy. Because
Okay.
you've got a fatter cigar, it stays warmer. You can keep it lit easier and
Okay.
smoke it. So that's what we got. Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Real quick, Sean, for the people interested in being able to get their hands on your cigars, you have a website, correct? Can you tell us what the website is?
You see that?
Oh,
Backward.
turn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wrong way, that way. There you go.
There you go.
RebellionCigars.com. Welcome, 50%
RebellionUSA.com.
off. Wolfpack 25% off. Very nice. I'll make sure to put an announcement on the
Yeah.
channel on that.
So it's rebellionusa.com.
Keep it there, Sean. Hold on. Let me. Okay, got it.
That's the one.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah. And
All
so
right,
what
we
we
got the
do,
website down here.
yeah, what we always do is, look, first time you buy, because we appreciate you want to try them, and it's a
Of
risk.
course.
So we say we'll give them away to start with, because we like to think you smoke them and then you might come back and buy some more. So we
Exactly.
also like to, we like to support the clubs that we do this with. So the Wolfpack, if you put Wolfpack in when you check out on the discount, you'll always get 25% forever.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Nice. Nice.
that stays there. And you can
Nice.
buy the packs I sent you, which are the sample packs.
Yeah.
Again, all the cigars, each individual cigar will come in a pack of 5. All the Gordos come in packs of 4, or you can buy the bundles of 20.
Very nice. So you got different options for people depending on the quantity. Everybody
Yeah,
watching the podcast, you can see the website here, rebellionusa.com. If you're a member of the club, Wolfpack 25% off. He also has a welcome promo code, which is welcome, and you're gonna get a 50% off on your first order.
first
Like he,
order only. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
like
Nice.
he said, you can get the sampler packs, or you can get 5 packs of the same cigar. You can get the bundles, if you will. So please make sure to check out rebellionusa.com. Please make sure to follow him on Instagram, Rebellion Cigars. I'll make sure that we upload a banner
Yeah. Definitely.
with the information. We would only need, Sean, your logo so that we can post it up and
Yeah.
throw it up. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll send that to you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Definitely. And Sean, for us that are in the States and we kind of like enjoy, me, whenever there's a around like my neighborhood, I live in Pennsylvania. Whenever there's an event going on, I usually like to support them. Even if it's just kind of like, just boutique brands and all of that, I'll just pass by. Any plans on you kind of like coming to the States and any events in the future, in the near future?
Well, tomorrow I'm on a plane to New York, and I'm actually going to Pennsylvania
Wow.
to see some customers
Okay.
in Pennsylvania on Thursday, and then we've got 4 or 5 stores to visit in New Jersey, and a couple of launches to do, where they've taken the product on, and now we do our
Nice.
thing, i.e., we support them to help them bed
Nice.
them in their stores and get them out there.
There you go. There you go. So for everybody trying to look up, and on your website, do you have like a store locator? So if
We do.
anybody,
Yeah.
Okay.
So that website I've given you there is the retail website. If you go to
Okay.
rebellioncigars.com, you'll see all the blend
Okay.
information, all the stuff about us, and the store locator. And
Okay.
Nice.
and as I say, we've been really lucky because again, it is all about you do stuff like this and you do other stuff, you do networking, you do PCA, and you get to know people. And we've got some really good brokers working for us now who are they're to be honest, they're going great guns. They're getting a new account every week in the areas
Nice.
they're working. So it's and it like I've always said this, you've got to work at it. This doesn't happen by chance. It's great that you
Exactly.
have me on there. Really, I really appreciate it because this also helps. But you've got to get it on the ground and take it into the stores, and then they look at it, they buy into it, and if the customers then like them, the thing flows. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. Wow. So
Mm.
so you've been to PCA already with your brand?
Yeah, we did well, 2024. So we did PCA in 2023 because although we started the business in 2020, of course, this thing called COVID got in the way.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah.
couldn't get
Yeah.
PCA wasn't on in 2020, I don't think, but we couldn't get to the one in 2021 because we couldn't fly.
Okay.
So the first one we did was last year. And again, we got a load of customers from it, a load of contacts, and we start to work those. And we did TPE this year and PCA, and again we'll be at PCA next year in New Orleans.
In New Orleans. So you guys gonna
Yeah,
be out there? Yeah. We're trying to see if we can
Yeah.
make it to PCA since it's gonna be in New Orleans and he's in PA. I'm in Florida. It's closer to us than Vegas,
yeah.
but definitely want to see if we can get. We have to go to PCA, bro. I've never been
Yeah.
to PCA. Um,
It's good. It's a good event to go to. Great parties
oh,
afterwards and everything.
I
It's like you
bet.
say, it's really interesting for me because I'm from the UK, right? So I can drive the length of the country in 8 hours, and I didn't quite realize how far Vegas was from Orlando, and it was
Yeah,
I think it was a 5 hour flight to get.
Yep. Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
pretty distant. So you're part of the BCA, the Boutique Cigar Association, right?
we are. Yes, yes, yeah. And
Nice,
again,
nice.
they're doing a great job because their whole ethos is to promote boutique cigar companies. Um, and you know what it's like, it can be a very lonely place trying to do this yourself. We haven't got the marketing power of the big boys, and we've got to fight our corner. And it's easier to fight your corner, if you've got a collective of 20 or 30
Yeah. Of
companies
course.
all trying to do this, you can put some money into a pot, do some marketing that boosts the exposure for everybody.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, very nice. I wanted to ask you, Sean, real quick. So you were saying that all your cigars are manufactured in Honduras, right?
Yes, yes.
And you're using Nicaraguan and Honduran tobacco. You're not using Dominican tobacco?
No, no, it's all Honduran and Nicaraguan. And so basically the Rockstar range is two parts Honduran, one part Nicaraguan, and the country range is the other way around. That's just how it's kind of worked out.
Okay.
Any reason why not using Dominican tobacco?
Well, we don't need to. I mean, again, if we were using Dominican tobacco, we then got to get it into Honduras. So you're adding cost to that. Now,
Yes.
if you're manufacturing in the Dominican Republic, of course, they're going to mainly use Dominican tobacco because it's there, and it's the same for us using Honduran and Nicaraguan tobacco. If you look at where the two countries meet,
Yeah,
that your tobacco growing regions kind of straddle the border anyway. So you know it's a bit of dirt in the ground. It's a field
yeah.
grown tobaccos. And there's a line saying whether it's Nicaraguan or Honduran, but yeah, it's where it comes from. So Amastran tobacco, Aleppo tobacco, Condiga, they're all sort of growing regions there.
All right. Good stuff, man. Sean, this is a question that I like to ask all the boutique brands because everybody gives me a different answer. You've been in the game already for a couple of years. I mean, if you could take it back, what would you do differently if there would be anything that you would do differently? Because again, you've been in here, you went through the COVID era, you kind of like, you've been in the PCA, you're kind of like in a different country, so you're exposed in another country. You're making your way over to the U.S. Is there anything that you would have done differently from the point that you first started to now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't have started it in the middle of 2020. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I would have.
I hear that. I
With
hear
the
that.
challenge, yeah. But you just you've gotta look what's in front of you and pivot and change, and that's what you can do as a small business. You can move. We
Yep.
started the business literally in March 2020, just as COVID was coming in, and we had a big uh trip planned to Nicaragua and Honduras for April 2020 to go and visit some factories and do some blending and stuff. And of
Okay.
course, all that fell by the wayside. So we had to rely on post to get loads of samples sent over and do the sampling, give feedback about what we liked, what we didn't like to get the first
Okay.
blends made. Um, but no, I mean, we're where we are now because of everything that's happened. So yeah, there's not a lot I would have done differently, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, had I met Petro at the beginning, we would have probably been a bit further along because he's extremely knowledgeable, hardworking, and he's key to our success as well. And it's little things that we do. So you know, we have a perfect draw machine in the factory. So I don't know if you know this, if you've heard of this before, but every cigar is bunched and rolled and pressed, and before the wrapper's put on, it
Yeah.
goes in the
Yeah.
perfect draw machine. And if it doesn't draw properly, it gets rejected before it gets the wrapper on. Because, like I said to you before, the brand's one thing, the names are one thing, but if you
Exactly.
haven't got and if you haven't got the ongoing quality control, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Cigar, it takes a long time to build a good reputation, but seconds to get a
Absolutely.
to get a bad one. You
To
know?
get a
This is
bad one.
burning beautifully, Sean. This is burning
Yeah.
beautifully. The draw is amazing on this cigar. I'm telling you right now, I'm enjoying this cigar a lot. This is
Yeah. No.
and if
Me
you're
too.
telling me, that the other Maduro is better than this one, I think I'm gonna after I
Well,
smoke this one, I think I'm gonna turn that one on because I gotta see for myself. I gotta smoke both Maduros back to back to actually
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it's
yeah.
just interesting if you because it is it. I think the Ring of Fire is slightly richer in flavour.
All right.
As I say, if you gave me an Ace of Spades, a Sweet Child, or a Ring of Fire as my last cigar, I'd be quite happy. Um, but I think the Ring is just edges it slight with a extra
Okay.
slight bit of
Hey, I'll
richness.
take your word
Yeah,
for it. I'll take your word for it.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. I gotta
But
light
that's
it up
but
myself too,
Yeah. I know he's got me wanting to smoking on. I'm gonna tell
and
him,
I
listen,
will
I
smoke it
enjoyed that one
tonight.
more than yours, man.
And I will smoke
Nah,
it
but
tonight.
definitely, I know Sean. I know you almost got to get out of here because you have another podcast. But listen, um, definitely appreciate you taking the time out and coming. And please let us know if there's anything that we could do for you. This is what we're here for. Utilize our platform. We try to tell everybody to utilize our platform. We don't ask for anything. We're just here to help each other out. We help you, you help us, and that's pretty much where it's at, man. But definitely appreciate you, and I wish you nothing but success and the best of luck on your future.
Yeah.
thank you. And I know you do the raffles, so I'll speak to you after this. But we need to get you some stuff for
Oh,
one of the
okay.
raffles as
Wow.
well.
There
Yeah,
you
We
go.
yeah.
appreciate that, Sean, and everybody watching the podcast. Make sure to follow Sean Rebellion Cigars on Instagram. We have the website here, rebellionusa.com, for you to be able to buy your cigars, 5 packs, sampler packs, bundles. He's got robustos, he's got toros, and he's got gordos. You
Yeah,
know,
he's got something
for
for
what
everybody.
for whatever occasion. He's got habanos, he's got maduros, he's got Connecticut. So he's got a different variety of cigars for for everybody to enjoy. If you're a member, you can get a 25% off every time you order. Your first order, you can use the code welcome, and you're gonna get a 50% off on the first order. It's not gonna be every time. you know.
Yeah.
So because people twist it and people be like, oh shit, I thought it was gonna, you know. And I think it's pretty cool. You being a brand owner, I've never seen anybody really
No,
offering like a big that's 50% off.
that's a
That's
big discount
huge.
for yeah, that's a big discount. So everybody take advantage of that. For your first
Mm.
order, if you could get 50%, that's outstanding. Take
The
advantage of
thing,
that.
the thing is, if you haven't smoked them before, right, you can buy the two sample packs. So the country one's got 3 cigars in it, so you'll pick that up for $15, maybe a bit less
Yeah,
actually. The rock style one's got 4 cigars in it. You'll pick that up for $20. So you
That's
know,
insane. Yeah, that's
it's a
amazing.
it's a low risk way of trying them, and if you like
Yep.
them,
exactly.
after that you're paying $7.50 for a cigar.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
You know what we gotta do, Sean, in the near future, and near future, I mean in probably we'll plan it for July or August. We recently started doing club herbs here on Instagram where we bring other members to smoke with us so that people can put a face to the names and all that. So I would like to have you in one of those herb with many of these members that they join us so that they can really get to know you like that. Just like you
yeah,
talking to us, so you can talk to them so that they can really get their their hands on your cigars and all that. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know because we already have the second herb already pre-planned for tomorrow. So for July, I'll invite you so that we can meet
yeah,
up with several people from the club and get it going, my brother. So, like Rafi said, if you need anything from us, don't be shy, bro. Send me a DM, message me. You got my number. Let me know how we
yeah.
can help, and we'll do it. All right.
Love to do it. No, really appreciate it. And certainly appreciate all your help. I mean, really do.
All right, guys. So
So
listen,
I hope
guys.
I hope I hope you enjoy the ring.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy
I
the ring of
I
I'm
fire.
will
gonna go
enjoy the
smoke.
ring.
Yeah. I'm gonna go smoke it right after this one. So
I'll send you a
Let,
message and
let,
I'll let you know the
yeah,
feedback,
let me know. Let
Sean.
me know. Yeah, appreciate it.
Definitely. So please,
Right, fellas.
everybody, follow us. I know Sean has his name, but his Instagram it's Rebellion Cigars. You're not gonna
Yep,
Rebellion Cigars. So
yep.
Rebellion Cigars on Instagram. Follow all of us. If you want to become a member of the club, send me a DM. I'll let you know what you got to do. It's pretty simple. And appreciate everybody for the follow. Subscribe to the channel. And again, follow all of us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sean, for coming in tonight. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks a lot, fellas. And let me know when next time you get some pink t-shirts in.
I,
I'm in.
all right. All right. Sounds
there
good.
you go. All right,
All right,
Sean.
guys.
Have a good night.
Really nice to meet you, and we'll see you on the hearth.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. Thank
Definitely.
you.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Bye.